Why can't Governor Walz deploy the National Guard in Minnesota and Minneapolis to protect the people? He can. However, there are several roadblocks to that. One, the National Guard is not supposed to be used for policing. You saw when Donald Trump attempted to use them in Portland, Chicago, Los Angeles, and DC that he was blocked for the most part. And then you also know that there are laws that prevent the National Guards from being used that way. They usually are used for natural disaster, for defined specific emergencies, or for assistant the police or law enforcement when they request it. Now, he can do it, but there'll be limitations of the Posse Comitatus Act, which says it has to be for a defined emergency purpose and that it must be narrowly tailored to carry out whatever the mission is and limited in scope. And yeah, otherwise it could be a mess. You could imagine that the having troops there protecting the people and having the federal ICE and Border Patrol agents there attacking the people. It's almost like civil war. It's a hot mess. It's not something you just trigger automatically. And I think he's threatening to use them, but he knows the limits. He knows it has to be certain parameters, and he's being careful. This administration, Donald Trump, just does things without the proper calculations, without making sure he actually has the legal authority and justification, that he's defined the scope, that he's narrowed it, and he sees there's no other alternative, and he does not wait for the actual, like in this case, Governor Walz would have to get permission or requests from the law enforcement and say we can't handle it. And right now, if you look at the footage that's coming out of Minnesota and Minneapolis, the people look like they're doing a good job defending themselves against ICE, other than the horrible rogue agent that shot and killed Renee Good. For the most part, the police are managing it, and it's not to the point that we need to have troops in. Again, like I said, troops are not law enforcement. They're not necessarily skilled. That's not what they do. And we've seen when they're deployed unlawfully, wantonly, recklessly, West Virginia sending their troops to DC, what happened, what can happen. Because that officer, that National Guards woman who lost her life should not have been. She should have been she's been home in West Virginia. This is why you don't just deploy it recklessly. And so I think if he does, he's going to do it in due time after he does the proper calculations. I know that's not the great answer. I know it seems slow. I know this seems like a defined emergency, but I'm not quite sure if it's reached that level yet, and I don't think he thinks so. That's why he hasn't deployed it. It's not that he can't deploy it. It's just he wants to make sure he follows all the rules, and that's the thing. We're usually rule followers on this side of the aisle. The other folks just break the laws and figure it out later. As you can see, that's a problem. Never good. Anyway, JJ Legal, each one teach one. I hope this answered your question. Comment below.